Well, hello there, everybody. Happy Monday. I know you got to be really excited the first day of the work week. Thankfully for me, I don't have to go to work because I work for myself. But welcome, everybody, to another fantastic episode of Rotten Potatoes Reviews. You know why it's fantastic? Because I get to do it all by myself and I don't have to wait to talk. No, I'm just kidding, you guys. Love everybody. Thank you so much for those of you that have shown up so far. I'm sure that there will be others joining us. I only put out one small reminder today, so maybe we won't have as many viewers, but you know what? I don't care. I could do these by myself and still be happy. Um, so tonight we're going to be doing something a little bit different, but I do something a little bit different all the time. We're going to be looking at first episodes of some new shows that have recently come out, good, bad, or otherwise. Last week was a little bit of a downer because there was a lot of things that I just wasn't that happy with. This week, I've got a nice mix of things that I'm happy with and things that, I think could be a little bit better. But anyway, just wanted to say hey to everybody. Cloudy, thank you so much for joining it. I think you might be the only one here right now, but that is okay because it just makes it so if I look stupid, I only look stupid to you. Anyway, so I'm going to start the show off like I normally do with a little YouTube TV guide, if you will. So I like to let people know about the shows that I enjoy and also, times and dates and all that kind of stuff. So I have put together a little bit of a kind of a rundown for the week. If you guys know of a show that you really like and you would like to see it added to this list, by all means, let me know because I'd be more than happy to add it to this. Net Reality, I don't know who you are, but I am so happy that you kind of joined us this evening. If you haven't been here before, this is just a little review show that kind of spun off of our regular flagship show, The Friday Fallout, where I talk about things that I've been watching and stuff that I like and stuff that I don't like. So that's just the way this show goes. But anyway, this is our little YouTube TV guide here. So Monday is going to be a regular spot for this show. Rotten Potatoes Reviews will be on at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the U.S. Tuesday nights are Mixing It Up on the KVTV channel, which is a DIY kind of e-liquid show. I'm a vapor. I have been for a very long time, and I enjoy making my own liquids. So, hey, that's how it is. Been watching on Catch Up normally from the UK. Awesome. We get a lot of people from Australia and the UK that watch this channel, and I'm happy to have you. I got a little game later on that does have some people from across the pond in it, so hopefully this will be a little bit more fun. Also on Tuesdays, we do have the Another Random Mixing Show with an advocate for liberty. I really like him and his wife. They're good people. Wednesday nights, I don't have anything particular that I necessarily watch on a regular basis. I'm sure there are some probably fun things out there. If you know of something, by all means, let me know. On Thursday nights, Grim Green's vlog kind of takes over. Used to be a couple of hours, and now it seems like it lasts 3.5, 4 hours sometimes. So if you're interested in vaping and culture and all kinds of fun stuff, Grim is a great guy. He's very entertaining. Anybody that can talk to themselves in a room by themselves for 3.5 hours, you got to give them a little credit for something like that. Grim Green's vlog does come on at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Comes on like 4:30 Pacific time, so that's pretty early in the afternoon. But for me, it comes on a little bit later, and that's on Grim Green's channel. On Fridays, Keeping It Cartel, the Cloud Cartel UK channel at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Cloud Cartel, actually, all of his shows are showing this week, so he's got a busy weekend ahead of him. Friday nights is also the Green Room, which is another kind of old school vaping show on Frames Janklin's channel. I've been watching it for years, and I do truly enjoy the guys that are on there. They also do a podcast called the Shed Time Podcast, which is available anywhere that you listen to podcasts. And then last but certainly not least, the Friday Fallout, which is our flagship show on this channel, does come on obviously Friday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is more of an adult type show as far as jokes and conversation and things like that go. Last week we had a really fun game show episode. We played lots of games, and I felt like it was a really enjoyable time. Tried out some new games, and actually I'm going to be using one of the games tonight that we used on Friday night, but I did make up some new things for it. Saturdays, another one of these days where I know there's got to be some shows on YouTube. Saturdays for me ends up being a YouTube rabbit hole day where I end up watching celebrities, talk about their roles, or I end up going down some, stupid other rabbit hole. That's what happens to me on Saturdays because I'm up so late with the Fallout that I end up sleeping in on Saturdays and then doing much of nothing on Saturdays. So Sundays, the Matt and Seamus show, We Baby Seamus channel comes on at about 3 p.m. in the afternoon, Eastern Standard Time when they're on, and they're on a lot of the time. Good, just kind of show about whatever they feel like talking about. They had Thick Nick on last week, which is Angela Garrity's husband. So it's always a good time when Thick Nick comes on. Across the Pond is a really cool show because it intertwines Angela Garrity. She's from Texas. The Vaping Jedi, he's from Massachusetts. And then the Cloud Cartel UK, Sloan, he is actually from the UK. So it's a nice mixture of different cultures, and you really kind of get a good feel of, how things are in different parts of the world and things they like, things they don't like. Last time I was on the show a couple of weeks ago, we talked about the differences in foods and things like that. So it's always a good time. Lots of kind of funny jokes and a lot of innuendo. So if you didn't know about any of these shows and you want to check them out, here are all the listings, and you can always come back to the episode and watch the very beginning to get the days and the times. This is something I wanted to do for a long time. And like I said, if you have a show out there that you would like to have added to this list, just throw it down in the comment section, or you can just send it to my Instagram at I'm_Anthony Ramella. All right, so we'll get that out of the way here. So like I said, tonight we're going to be doing an episode. I do reviews. Those of you that don't know me, I watch like a good 40 plus movies a week, not including TV shows and things of that nature. I really enjoy that. That's just something I like to do. I work from home, and a lot of times I just have something playing in the background. This week there was some new things that came out as far as TV shows go, so I thought it might be fun to look at some of these first episodes just to see how they work or don't work in whatever case it is. Did it hook me? Do I want to watch the rest of the show? Do I want to wait around? I noticed some of these streaming services are starting to do this thing like we used to do back in the old days. I guess I'll say it like that, where they put out an episode once a week. So it keeps you coming back for more. Some shows I think this works really well for. Other shows, I think they probably should just dump the whole series on you so that you can kind of get the full story. Because otherwise, it could be one of those things that gets a little tedious to continue to keep doing that. So, like I said, everything on this show is my personal opinion. So, if you don't like it, you can always change the channel. But the first one that I wanted to talk about this evening is something on the Disney Channel. Those of you that didn't know, She-Hulk Attorney at Law just released this week. So I want to talk about this show a little bit. Those of you that don't know me very well, I am a huge Hulk fan. Like, as far as Marvel characters go, even when I was a kid, the Hulk has been the one thing that I really liked. And She-Hulk to me should be a great thing. Unfortunately, the first episode to me was a little lacking, and let me explain why. I don't like it when movies and shows kind of make up a bunch of stuff to cover up what you don't know about a character. And this particular show, at very beginning, she starts out as an attorney for about the first 5 minutes, and then she breaks the fourth wall and says, "Hey, I know you guys aren't going to pay attention to this show unless you find out what's going on with the basically the She-Hulkness of her." So they do this kind of little flashback scene, and you find out how that she became She-Hulk. My issues with this are the way they explain how she became She-Hulk and how all of that transpired is a little crappy. It's too easy. They made up a bunch of just goofy stuff to make this to be plausible so that they could kind of move you on to the show that they want to tell. I didn't like that because I'm a big kind of comic book and sci-fi guy, and I like the origin story to have some length to it, to have some, ups and downs, and you know you want to feel this. You want to have some interest in why this character has done what it's done. And in the original Hulk, about that. You know about him being in the lab and getting transformed, and the kind of life that he had to lead after that, and how he learned and how he became who he is today. And they squash all that down into about maybe 10 minutes of the show. And it's goofy. It doesn't really make sense. It seems a little implausible. And they almost make fun of the fact that this has happened. And they don't really allow that part of it to kind of grow organically like I think that it should. It's only the first episode. Will I continue to watch this show? I will probably give at least another couple of episodes chance to see how things progress. But one of the things when you're making a show, especially a pilot, this is one of those things where you want to grab somebody's attention and make them just, really desire to see more. And in this particular case, it was tough. Like if I wasn't a huge Hulk fan, I don't know if I would continue to watch this. And I hate being a bummer about this, but Marvel's done fantastic things, and this is starting to feel more like Disney than it is feeling like Marvel. And when all of this transpired and they got Star Wars and they got Marvel and all that, this was one of my big concerns about Disney and what they were going to do with this and make it, too commercialized or too childish or whatever. And that's kind of what they do. And you don't make a lawyer show for kids. So I'm not quite sure how this is all going to transpire. But anyway, this is the first one up for tonight. It is a 2022 release. I believe this just released a few days ago. It is available on Disney Plus to watch, and just the first episode of that. So this is the first thing that I've got, and I've got many more of these to talk about tonight. So we'll go on to something else. So this was an interesting one. Pistol. It's available on Hulu. It's got more than one episode available, but I did watch the first episode because I wanted to kind of do this type of show tonight, and I wanted these things to be kind of fresh. So Pistol is about the origin story of the Sex Pistols. So it's really good as far as time period piece, as far as what they kind of went through a little bit to get this rolling. Things don't always go the way that they're supposed to. They're trying to start a revolution. So this is something a little bit different. Not all the guys in the band see eye to eye. The band doesn't actually you know come together exactly how that we might imagine it would. But I love the way that the story is coming across. I like the characters in it because they're rough and tumble. They're not polished and cutesy and all of that. It has kind of this grunge to it, and that's something that I personally really like when it comes to a show like this. Like I said, I want to watch more episodes, and I probably will after I'm done with this, but I didn't want to cloud my brain with too many things that go along with it. The main character that they're kind of following around in this starts out as kind of the lead singer, and then kind of transpires into one of the guitarists, and they put Johnny Rotten obviously as the lead singer. So this is actually, I think, going to be pretty good. Now, unfortunately, I don't know the history of the Sex Pistols. Believe it or not, I don't know everything. As much as I'd like to, I just don't. So I might have a better viewpoint of this show because I don't know the specifics of how everything started. But for me, this is starting out exactly the way I want it to start out. Like even the space they rent to kind of rehearse is just this dirty, grungy place. And one of the guys says something about, I don't even know if we could hear each other over the rats. So I think this is actually going to be pretty good. Cloudy says, I'm definitely going to check this one out. And this one says, loved it. Got that late 70s to 80s feel nailed. It's worth watching the rest of the series. And I plan to. I definitely do. Like I said, I wanted to do an episode that was kind of like first takes because I watched the Hulk thing this week, and I'm like, I know there's got to be other shows that have just recently come out that are brand new. Let's try some first episodes to see what hooks me and what doesn't. And I'm always surprised because there's always things out there that I think are going to be great and then kind of fall short. And then things like this that I have no expectations. And I'm like, dude, I could definitely get into this. Like this definitely works. Plus it's got boobs in it. So that kind of adds the, added effect of me wanting to watch more of this. So anyway, that's just how things go. All right. So the next thing, I think I told you everything. Yeah, it's definitely on Hulu to watch and just recently came out. So the next one I want to talk about is on HBO Max. Those of you that are big fans of Game of Thrones, this is a prequel to the Game of Thrones called House of the Dragon. Well, okay, here's the thing. The when you first get into this and and start the show, you get this wonderful dragon that are just awesome. I'm a fan of dragons. Call me a geek or a nerd or whatever, but for some reason I've always been a fan of dragons, and I just don't think you get to see enough of them, especially in really good CGI and well done. Love Smog, those kinds of things. So this one, you get this huge dragon and it's flying, and one of the funny things about it is no one in town is like screaming or running or anything because they're protected by the dragon. This is the House of Dragons. These are, the people that actually use these dragons to protect their people. And also, who on earth is going to battle somebody that's got like 6 or 7 full-size dragons? Like, they run the world because of this. And I was thinking earlier, I'm like, what? Even in today's standards, like, what would really be able to go up against a dragon? Uh, I'm sure we could find a way, but it still looks very cool. So the beginning of the story is actually pretty good, and then it just falls into the same trap of what I always felt like Game of Thrones fell into. And you walk into a situation, and it's a lot of sitting around and talking and scheming and things of that nature. And to be honest, I got about halfway to 3/4 of the way through the first episode and stopped. I was so bored, and I was like, I know I could spend my time better watching something else. Will I go back to it? It's possible. But this was one of my biggest complaints about Game of Thrones. If you look at Game of Thrones as a whole, it's great. But there are times where you're sitting there watching, you know, the fifth season, the, seventh episode through, and you're just like, was this episode even necessary? Like, why did they drag this shit out so long? It's the same problem I have with some of the Lord of the Rings things. It's like, all right, we've watched you walk for 45 minutes. Like, this doesn't seem like it's a necessity when it comes to telling the story. But a lot of times with TV shows, they feel like they have to drag this shit out because they don't have that long of story to tell, and it's not a movie. So they've got to be able to bring people back every week. And I think this is one of the traps they're going to fall into. The cast, there are people that you'll definitely recognize in the cast. But it's a lot of I don't want to say B actors, but a lot of actors that are not like the top, a little lower level. You'll see them in other things, but they're not like the tops. And they brought in a lot of new faces for this too. I just don't know about this. I wanted to like this, and like I said at the beginning, it hooked me right away because of the dragon, and that was a smart move to make. But I think the first episode needed to have a lot more action in it, and then you wean us off of that in later episodes when you need to have these things. But there's a couple of times where they're just sitting at this table, like having a council meeting, and I'm like, oh God, I just no, I just I'm not ready for it. I wasn't prepared. Didn't want to sit here and watch through that. Maybe I needed a little more shed time to enjoy it a little more. But this one, we'll just have to kind of wait and see. That's where I am with this right now. So I just don't know how this is going to go. I really just don't know how this is going to go. Let's see if I can pull up another slide. I think I missed one here. See if it'll let me do it. So the next thing I want to talk about here is A League of Their Own. And if you give me just a second here, I'm going to pull up one of these slides here so I can do that. Come on, baby, pull it up. I had 2 slides set up for this, and I only loaded one of them, so I wanted to kind of do a back and forth. So, anyway, A League of Their Own, brand new, 2022. I did just watch the first episode. Now, this one has, I think, probably almost a complete series ready to go because there was quite a few more episodes to watch. Hey, Vandal, what's up? Anyway, so those of you that are familiar with the original movie from 1992, so I'm not talking about this movie necessarily, but one of the things I wanted to kind of compare was the movie to the TV show. And one of the things that I noticed in the TV show that was different, and I don't know why it's taken so long for this other slide to pull up, but anyway, one of the big differences between the movie and the TV show, I'm not trying to be mean, and I don't want this to be taken this way. But the TV show seems to be like its focus is around female empowerment, which I'm fine with. It also wants to focus on the fact that that black people were not allowed to play, black women were not allowed to play in the league, which I'm okay with that too. But it seems like that's their only focus. And the coolest thing about A League of Their Own was the baseball aspects of this. In the first episode, which is 51 minutes long, there's tryouts, but there's absolutely no other baseball stuff going on in it. The other thing about the show itself is that it focuses so much on like lesbianism and the whole racial tension and things like that, that you don't get that comedy that you need to kind of break up the serious moments in this. Now, if that's what they were going for, that's great, but that's not what myself as a fan watching League of Their Own is looking for. I want the John Lovitz character, to be doing the scouting, but I also want the female empowerment and all of those other things. I want a nice mix of that, and I think that you need a nice mix of that. What I found with this particular show is it seems like they just want to make all the guys look dumb and inadequate, and they're really focusing on the female empowerment thing, which is fine, but it makes me not want to watch because I want there to be equal ground. I want there to be equal for everybody. We don't have to build up women by bringing men down. That shouldn't have to be the case. And I think we could learn a lot by kind of joining the two up. So I thought the episode was okay, but it wasn't what I was wanting from A League of Their Own, and that's a same kind of trap that I see these other shows falling into, is that you need to hook your audience on the very first episode and not try and tell some story that's just not going to work or not going to hook your audience because they're not going to come back for more. There should have been baseball in this. There should have been more of a focus on that side of it, I believe. And then you tell those other stories integrated in later episodes. I feel like they front loaded this with a bunch of controversy and not really something that I thought was actually going to be good. So, I'm a little disappointed in the TV show. I'm sorry I can't get the slide to come up for that particular one. But I wanted to be able to at least talk to you guys about this. If you want to take a look at it, by all means do. But it's just something that I don't know that I will continue to watch because I need that baseball to interact with this, and I don't know how long it's going to take for him to get to that point. So every week I try and do something for you guys, which I call a hidden gem. So hidden gems are basically things that I find on weird places that I think are fantastic, or something that I really think that you should check out. So I do have a hidden gem for this week, which I am just over the moon about. So my hidden gem for this week is Sprung. This show got me right from the very beginning. So let me give you just a little insight on what Sprung is about. So what they've done is finally somebody has come out with a show where we can laugh a little bit about the time during the coronavirus. Now, these aren't your, upper suburban people. These are your lower level people who either don't understand Corona or don't really care to understand about Corona. So the storyline behind this is the gentleman that's here in the front and the guy on the little motorcycle are both in prison for nonviolent offenses. The guy in the leather jacket has actually been in prison for like 24 years because he went to jail back in the 80s when there were drug mandatory minimums and he was selling weed. He got 30 years because not only did he have enough, and he was a kid, obviously a kid at the time, he had enough to put him away for 15, but because it was in 1,000 yards of a school, that got doubled. So he got 30 years in jail for selling weed. The guy on the little motorcycle there was a cellmate, and they just come up to him one time and said, "Yeah, it's not spun, it's sprung." But anyway, they get released because of the coronavirus, and they're releasing non-violent offenders. So the lady here in the green pants, the only place that I would say that you would know this actress from is that she is the ugly girl from the Goonies. They've got the cute girl, they got the not so cute girl with the big owl glasses, and then the rest of the guys. That is who this is. Now it's going to be. I'm sure you can't tell by the picture, but she plays a really great role in this. The other girl in the yellow shirt, she was also in jail at the same facility, but like on a different floor. I don't know how exactly that works. The other two people are just kind of bit characters so far, but I've only watched one episode of this, and I laughed from the moment that this thing started until the end. It really kind of reminds me of like an upper middle bogan kind of show where it's very kind of low comedy, as far as like low income comedy. They're all crooks. They're always scheming and doing things like that. Kind of I don't know, kind of a different version of this. The guy on the motorcycle invites him to stay at his mom's house, and then they end up picking up the girl too, and they all end up staying at his mom's house. She drives a 1976 Pacer, which I think is really funny, especially in modern times. Just really funny all the way around. And the one thing at the very beginning that hit me was the name of the penitentiary that they were in was H.I. McDonough Penitentiary, which is High from Raising Arizona. That's his name. So it was a nice, like, saying, hi, or, saying, giving respect to Raising Arizona. And I actually stopped because I'm like, what's the name of that penitentiary? And I went back to look at it. So it's just that kind of comedy. And I think it's really good. There are no real like big stars in this. I mean, the guy that's the lead in this, I recognize from other things, but I can't tell you, like, I didn't even look up his name because I honestly didn't want to know. Um, but I think that's what makes this special, is like it's not like your highest level. The worst part about this is, guys, this is on Freevee, which is the old IMBD like free app for watching TV. So I'm sure you're never going to see this unless you actually go look for it. It's Freevee. Freevee is the name of the app, so you'd have to download it to be able to use it, but it's absolutely free to watch. But by far, like, the best thing that I saw on this list, absolutely by far the best thing that I've seen this week. I can't wait for more episodes to come out because I'm over the moon. Like, finally found something that was really funny, that was off the beaten path, and every one of these people in this just really nail their characters. So it's one of these things that I just thought was really fantastic. So excuse me. So that was my hidden gem for the week. So if you were looking for something a little, out of the ordinary that I thought was good, hey, try some Sprung. It also sounds kind of like a Sir Mix-a-Lot song for some reason. I don't know why I keep thinking that, but that's definitely what it sounds like to me. So you guys, I always like to try and set you up with a little bit of a game when we're here. So this time is no different from that. So I thought we would play a little bit of, I think this is the one, a game that I started on the Friday Fallout this week called Say Yes to the Undress. So Say Yes to the Undress is basically a game where I take an actor or actress who has been nude on screen, and I take a red carpet picture of them, cover up their face, give you a little hint, and see if you can figure out who the actress is. Now, I know we don't have a lot of people in chat, but I'm going to throw it out here anyway and see if you guys want to play along. So I did do a couple from overseas, so I'm hoping that this will work out just a little bit better. All right, so this is the first one I've got up here. By any other name, she would still look as sweet. So if you guys want to take a moment and try and guess who that is, that's how we play games here. I'm going to try to remove the rest of this stuff off of here so I can add the extra slides, because I've got 5 of these for you guys tonight because I just felt like it. And I know there'll be a little bit of dead air, but it takes a moment for everybody to catch up. So don't want to leave anybody out. And because what fun is that? Yeah, by the way, this week, Friday Fallout, which is our flagship show, is going to be Chris and I by ourselves. So we're going to be doing kind of a kicking it old school episode. It's been a long time since him and I have actually done a show just by ourselves. So I think it's actually going to be some fun. And we're going to kick it back to the 90s. So we're going to do quite a few things about the 90s. I'm sure I can find plenty to talk about. And I'm sure Chris can tell us some stories of the trailer park from the 90s. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. So I'm adding the last one now, and that should be over. Of course. Well, let's get rid of that. And then we can add our last slide. And then we'll look in the chat, see if anybody got the answer right. Okay, let's see here. Rose McGowan is a good guess. Very, very close, but not it. Wait, no. And Stu Rep says Angelina Jolie. No, unfortunately, it isn't. Even though they probably have similar amount of tattoos. Come on, Ern. I know you got this one. I believe in you. Hello, Matthew Welsh. How are you doing, man? Good to see you. You're just in time for a game. Basically, what we're doing is trying to guess who this is on the red carpet by just a little quote that I put up here. And the deal is that these actors or actresses have been naked on screen. It's a game we call Say Yes to Undress. So just by the quote on the screen, if you can tell me who this is, that would be awesome. Well, that just does not want to load, does it? Don't recognize the tattoos. I can't think of another Rose actress. Ha ha. All right. Well, I think I've given you guys plenty of time on that particular one. And the name on this one is Ruby Rose. Ruby Rose. That's okay, Ian. I just do these really for me. Anybody else shows up, that's cool. I just do these for me because I watch so many TV shows and movies every week and I need somebody to talk to. And if that just means I'm talking to myself on here, that's fine too. But no big deal, pal. We still love you anyway. All right. So our next one up here is going to be she always seems to be dating some joker. She always seems to be dating some joker. Sexy King Phil. What happened? Did you guys have nothing to do tonight and you decided to see who was live on YouTube? You were hoping for Chris Vandal. He ain't here. I saw him pop into chat earlier, but I don't even think he would stick around. He's kind of like Legion Vapes in the Friday Fallout. You know, come in every once in a while, but if I don't spend time talking about him, he'll leave. Just busting balls. Just busting balls, Vandal. So, yeah, Ruby Rose looked good. But I always think she looks good. I don't know why, but I always do. Oh, there we go. My pride and joy. Earn. Margot Robbie. I thought that was going to be a pretty easy one to get just from the little thing that I gave you guys. I'm not trying to make these hard. I'm just trying to make it interesting and fun. So anyway, I should have spent more time rambling about the things that I had on here. I never really feel like I put enough. I plan enough. I plan a bunch of stuff, but I always seem to run through it. Like I don't want to just sit here and him and haul around. I just want to tell you guys what's going on with it. So maybe I just need to plan a few more things to talk about. But you know, who wants to sit here and listen to me talk for hours at a time? Now, 45 minutes is more than enough. All right. So the next one on our Say Yes to Undress. I enjoy her weather reports, but most think she's a mean girl. Honestly, I just put this on here for Vandal because I swear to God, I think he's the only one that'll actually get this. I don't know, Ern. He says the white trash tattoos are the thing that makes her hot. I think so too, but I don't know many women that can pull off the shaved head thing and that I still like, God damn, that girl's hot. Like, Ruby Rose is just an absolute beauty no matter what happens. Not to take anything away from Margot Robbie, but man, and I think it was last week that we talked about a Ruby Rose movie that I really liked. So I think that last week was a hidden gem. I had an intense conversation with my mom. Thought I'd stop by to cheer myself up. All right, well, fair enough. Hopefully I can do that for you. I'm all my jokes are already done. You already missed all the great jokes, but no, I'm just kidding. This is just one of those shows that I decided I wanted to do because I don't get enough, I don't get enough screen time on the Friday Fallout. But no, there's always nuggets of great things to watch, and I always want to, do my best to try and bring that stuff to you guys. So, but thanks anyway for stopping by, and I hope that I brighten your spirits up a little bit. So, come on, guys, just guess somebody. Like that's the whole part of these games. You got to guess somebody. I'm gonna have to go back to a different game that's Pornhub or YouTube or something like that, which was a close second. I almost did that this week, but I didn't. Lindsay Lohan. No, it's really not. It's not Rachel McAdams. It's not Lindsay Lohan. This was one that I chose just because I don't know if Lindsay Lohan's been naked on screen, and I don't think Rachel McAdams has been naked on screen. Um, that's part of this game is they have to have been naked on screen for this to work. So it's not Tina McBride, even though I appreciate that as a guess. And Sexy King Phil says, I don't know. And that's okay. It's okay not to know. So this is probably the toughest one of the evening. But this is Amanda Siegfried. Amanda Siegfried. She actually is one of the mean girls. And the way that she was able to tell whether was feeling her breasts and knowing if it was if it was raining outside. So, um, yeah, Lindsay Lohan has been naked in Playboy and stuff like that. I just don't know if she's actually been naked on screen before. I just can't think of anything like that. The chick that played Mulan. I don't know, and I don't think so. I was going to make a million ways to die in the West comment on this one too, but I don't know how many of you guys have seen that movie. If you haven't, it's fantastic. You should definitely watch that. It's pure humor and nothing to really take away. But I thought it was great humor. That was my next guess. Of course it was. Well, then I'll give it to you because I mean, if that was your next guess, then who am I to say otherwise? All right, so this one here, she may look small, but her kids are fire breathers. She may look small, but her kids are fire breathers. Looky, looky. Awesome job. Yes, that's exactly who this is. I thought I might do something that was a little bit about one of the shows that I talked about with the old Game of Thrones thing. And I even gave her the blonde hair. I know most of the time now anymore, she's got dark hair. I also kind of went through a list of celebrities who were a little bit upset that they had done nudity in their past. And that's just an easy way to find these really quick. And I thought if you know Game of Thrones and you know Amelia Clark, um, I think she's banging. Like I don't know why, but I just think I like her personality. I think she's a good actress. And not only is she beautiful, it's just like the whole package all the way wrapped around. And for me, I have to have that. Like beauty is only, one facet of the things that I like about an actress. So very, very nice job. Very, very nice job. No, Stu Rep, it's not no clue. That's all right. And Earn, you got it in there. You just didn't get it in there first, and that's what it is. She has crazy eyebrows. Yeah, yeah. Not really the areas I focus on, but definitely has some crazy eyebrows. Those can be trimmed. Absolutely. All right, and we're gonna go on to our last one here. Let's see here. Say something nice about the motherfucking prequels, bitch. Say something nice about the motherfucking prequels, bitch. see if anybody can get this. I'm trying not to say anything. It's hard for me just to sit here and be quiet, as most of you know. Anybody that's ever watched the Friday Fallout knows it is very difficult. And thank you, Matthew Welsh, because somebody has watched that stupid rap video that she does, which it isn't stupid. It's fantastic. But this is one of the lines that she makes in that. Yeah. And this is definitely Natalie Portman. For some reason, it just doesn't want to let me put this slide up here for some reason. I don't know why. It just keeps kicking it back out. But, you know, that's just part of the dangle clacks of life. Let's see. Will it load it this time? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. It's not that big a file. It's just a picture and some words. But you know, I'm learning this new software. It's still taking me some time. But Matthew Welsh, nice job. Sigourney Weaver, that would have had to been just like say something nice about the bitch for that one to actually work. And yes, it did finally load. So yeah, definitely Natalie Portman. I honestly, up until today, did not know that she had done, nudity on screen. There's definitely many other ones that I'm very familiar with, but this one I wasn't. And yeah, she's one of those ones that's not too happy about it. I'm sure this just makes me sound like an asshole, but you don't really have that much to show, so I don't know why it would be that big a deal. And you're really hot, so I don't know if it's just something that you're ashamed of, but don't be ashamed, Natalie. We still love you and respect you no matter what. So yeah, you got to love the dangle clacks. But that's just because I'm sitting here trying to do this by myself. Normally I have Chris and he takes care of all the bumpers and that kind of stuff. And I kind of focus on my own thing. But here it's just me with all the balls in the air trying to make this work. So I really enjoy doing this show. I find it to be fun. I like to kind of, put my opinion out there when no one else can tell me that it's wrong or they don't like it. So that means it's wonderful. And like I said, if you don't like my opinion and you have a different one, it's okay to have wrong opinions. But if you really don't like the show, you can always change the channel. I love you guys. Thank you, chat, so much for coming in, showing up. Like I said, these are going to run, about 45 minutes, which is, about 3 times as much as a regular Rotten Potatoes review runs. If you have something that you've watched that you think is great that I haven't seen, or you'd like me to review something that you're not sure if it's good or not, I think we've all been there. We've all watched shows that we weren't sure 100% if they were good or not. I would be more than happy to do that. Throw it down in the comments. Send me a message on Instagram. If you look at my screen here, I'm gonna make this full screen. I'm _ Anthony Ramella is my Instagram handle. And I just put stuff on there whenever I feel like it. If you do me a favor and head on over to oinksquad.com, and it's Oink Squad, DOTCOM, oinksquad.com on Instagram. I am starting to get into this thing where I'm making t-shirts. Now, those of you that have known me for a little while know that this kind of started off of making something stupid for the Fallout, and then it's just kind of transpired into t-shirt designs. I did get another one in this week, which is the Food Fight shirt. Food Fight shirt, just covering up my face here a little bit. So I always have some new designs that are coming out. David Lloyd's Meatloft shirt is now available. I like to order them first to make sure how they look before I put it out there in the public. If you want something, you can always just message me and we will figure it out. I do have an oinksquad.com website that's up, but it's just kind of a one-pager. I'm still working on getting the t-shirts and everything loaded in that so we can just start selling from the site. But I just want to do stuff fun. If you guys want a t-shirt made, if you have a design idea about something you'd like to see on a t-shirt, hit me up. I'll be more than happy to see what we can work out. If you want to just, pay me to make a design, I can do that. If you want me to make a design and we go into it together, I'm cool with that too. It's just always a lot of fun. If you follow like the Shed Time podcast, they have a shirt over there that Sean Typhon really likes. Can't stop talking about it, which is great. We have Friday Fallout shirts. We have all kinds of stuff. So, head on over to oinksquad.com, DOTCOM, not just the period. So you got to spell the whole thing out because that's how Instagram works. So that's what's going on. And then you can always go to oinksquad.com, which is the website. And there's a few things on there, but that one's not, completely done yet. So I love you guys. I am pretty much out of stuff to talk about this evening for what I had prepared. I hope you enjoyed the game. But please join Chris and I on Friday night for the Friday Fallout because it is going to be one of our old school kind of shows. Him and I will just banter back and forth. I'll have some fun things to, make fun of him. He'll have some fun things to make fun of me. And the chat, you can just make fun of both of us, but it should be a good time had by all. So thank you guys so much for joining me. And I will see you next Monday with a whole bunch of other reviews and some kind of game to play. So we will see you guys next time. Have a great rest of the week.